Well, hello, old friend. My name is Bo, host of The Bo Show, and you are currently tuning into episode 50. That's 50 of The Bo Show podcast. Guys, it's so good to be back on these mics and be talking again. I'm accompanied today by my wonderful, amazing, lovely co-hosts. First and foremost, I don't know about foremost, actually. I'll just say first. This is always a tough part, boys. Who do I bring in first? Somebody say something, please. I can't do it. Brock Thompson.
How are we doing? What's up, boys?
Hey, good. Hey, and also accompanied, nonetheless, just as unbelievable of a guy. So pumped to have him on the pod, as always, Mr. Devin Pierce.
Hey, what's up, guys? Good to be back.
Boys, it is so good to be back.
It is good to be back.
You know, Pierce, how you feeling there, buddy? You got a big bookshelf behind you. I don't know who you're trying to impress.
Yeah, I just brought this in. It weighs 3,000 pounds. Put it inside the kitchen. So it looks a little bit weird.
In the kitchen?
I'm kidding. No, I'm inside, like, the study.
Cyber lounge.
The cyber lounge in our apartment.
Hey, Brock.
It's pretty sick.
Rock, Pierce, that actually behind him is Pierce's pantry cupboard. Usually he's got Lucky Charms and honeycombs in there. He just replaced all of the boxes, the sugary boxes of cereal with books.
There's
no Vector in his cupboards.
They're all Vector. Seriously. Yeah, all the books are just like the covers of the boxes are just cereal boxes, but it's cereal and just cover-ups. But no.
Hey, boys, I mean, in other words, too, I mean, today's episode 50. Like, this is a big deal. I mean, like, we're coming back into, like, let's call this season 3 of the podcast. Episode 50. Hey?
That's sick.
Yeah.
Season 3. Season 3. And you know what? I love it because we kind of took a little bit of a break between season 1 and 2. Now a little bit of a break between 2 and 3. But, boys, we got big things coming for season 3.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Pierce's bookshelf's gonna be making a constant appearance. And today, how can we forget, guys? Tyler Wong, unbelievable interview. We're gonna get to hear from him in a few minutes. He's playing currently in the KHL right now. Scored the Vegas Golden Knights' first ever franchise's goal. I don't care what Brock says, even if it was an exhibition game. He added on a hat trick after that. Is that good, Brock? Is that good?
That's good.
Yeah, sure is.
I do have a question for Brock because I've been wondering this. I don't even know if we ever asked this.
Uh-oh.
Did you ever hear back from the clubhouse at that golf course about the cart?
No, thankfully.
Really?
No.
I have been wondering, like, if they've ever like even said anything. So
never
all good.
Said anything. I got a text like maybe just a couple days after from our connection to that course who got us on for free. And he was like, hey, like, I just talked to my buddy who works there who talked to you after it happened. Like, you might be receiving a phone call in the next couple hours just to give you a heads up. Nothing.
Okay. Dang.
They're waiting until Christmas.
Dude,
Christmas
if
Day.
I get a call out of the blue,
that would suck.
That'd be heartbreaking. But there's no way. There's no way.
Yeah, Brock.
Judy.
Yeah, Brock. I think you're in the clear.
Me too.
This golf cart story just goes to like the Supreme Court. Brock's sitting there. They have
Speaking of golf though, like golf courses in Virginia are open year round. I'm pretty sure they are probably in Nashville too, Dev.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, in Manitoba, not a fat chance. But
no. I mean, unless you're golfing on your snowmobile.
No. But golf courses have been open around here, and I haven't played in. It has to have been 3 months.
I haven't golfed in forever either.
I haven't golfed.
Boys, it's not time to. I mean, you know, like it's just not a thing, man. Like I can't golf year round. I gotta take a little break from the sticks.
Is that a thing? Because this is my first season really even fully going at it, like in the summer with golf. So I don't know if I burnt myself out or what. Do you know? Oh wait, I do have a story. Do you know what I have been playing instead of golf?
What?
Disc golf.
Disc golf's sick.
Holy, is that sport fun. I gotta give a couple shout outs here because they deserve it. And then I'm gonna take this bone away from my dog. I'm sure you guys can hear that.
I can't.
We can't hear, Brock. It's your $3,000 mic. It blocks out all unnecessary sounds.
Right as you brought up disc golf, No joke, right as you brought it up, really quick, remember what you're going to say? My brother-in-law just texted me, Disc Golf 2020 National Championship is on ESPN2, if anyone is wondering. Right as you brought up Disc Golf.
Turn that on.
That is insane. What are the odds?
Yeah,
Anyway, what
the
were you
odds?
saying?
Yeah. Anyway, I got to give a shout-out to Andy Clark, Josh Hamilton, Matt Crookshank. These guys were the original OGs at Liberty University playing disc golf, and for 4 straight years, I decided to ignore every single text that they sent when they would play disc golf. And I couldn't be more sorry because I am obsessed.
Dang.
I'm obsessed.
Congrats, Brock. Not honestly, coming from your bowling addiction, I'm actually not that surprised that your next sport you picked was disc golf.
Have you played, Bo?
No, I haven't played because I want to hang on to my
dignity.
No, you can't say anything. You can't say I did the same thing, and that's a sad way to live your life without trying something.
No, I agree, Brock.
Don't knock it till you try it.
No, I agree, Brock, but here's the thing. I can put 2 and 2 together. I freaking hate throwing a Frisbee. It always curves at a 90-degree angle. It goes about 15 yards. And I can only imagine throwing a disc, how that would go.
It is fun, Bo. You got to try it, but it's honestly hard.
Really?
I think disc golf's tough. I thought I was going to be sick at it. Got up on the platform the first time I ever did it. There's a place that's like 10 minutes away from here. Actually, the first time I ever disc golf was when I worked at Kanakuk. And I got the absolute worst first impression of disc golf because the campers are making their own rules the entire time. No, if I landed on top of the thing, it's -5.
What?
And I'm like, they're like, yeah, if it goes over it, we're going to go ahead and do -3. I'm like, what? What are we doing? Because that's not. Then when I actually played for the first time, I had a blast.
Huh.
Oh,
so Brock, do you have like a driver and like?
I got 3 clubs.
So
driver, mid-range, and a putter.
Do you have a little fanny pack that you like carry them in?
Hey, Brock, do we have to retrain you how to talk into your mic?
Nope.
Thank you. Speaking of disc golf, have you guys been keeping in shape? And as we talked about before the show, what are the body fat percentages at, boys? Because I know that for at least 1/3 of this trio, it's got to be hurting.
Well, who is it?
You guys tell me. I want to hear results.
Well, I don't have a DEXA or a dual X-ray absorptiometry thing or whatever to tell me right next to me, but I don't know what my body fat percentage is. But I haven't been working out that much, honestly. I feel like my cardio is good, but I could get some more strength. Now that I'm done with undergrad, thanks, beauty. I appreciate it.
He's wearing a sweater, and you can see his shoulders. You sound like Pierce. Oh, you look good.
Yeah.
Well,
you look good.
He's just talking about how he's not working out. I need to pump his tees a little bit.
I appreciate it, Rock.
I don't know what he
No, I'm like really.
Wait. Should we throw it back to the olden days when you would take your top off?
No.
We should. You brought
not a chance. People walking by the glass and everything, and us idiots. My shirt's off, throwing a basket.
Cyber lounge.
Yeah, and we're
cameras.
We're live. Pierce.
What's that? What's that app that you can like post private videos for people?
I have no clue.
That doesn't sound like a thing that we want to do. 3 married men posting private videos online.
I know.
Lord help me.
Cyber lounge. People walk by the cyber lounge. Devin's topless.
Yeah. That's the video that's going viral on whatever app that is.
Pierce,
with my headphones on.
Yeah. Pierce, you could make some good money shaking those tits.
You think so? Remember when me and you went back and forth? There was no music in the lower gym down below or whatever.
Yeah.
Because Kurt's like, I need some music. You're like, milkshakes bring other. Yeah. We went back and forth. Dude, I came in hefty. I think that was my sophomore year. I was 220. I was a bowling ball. Looked just like Phil Kessel. Pants were pushed back. Hockey pants, couldn't fit in them. They gave me a medium. They gave me a medium Under Armour or whatever. That thing was eating me. I tried to pull off the whatever NFL player did the thing where they roll it up. walk past Adrian. They're like, good.
Sean Oakman.
That must be the goalie. Nope, he's a centerman. I actually had a lot more energy that year.
That's one of the funniest stories I've ever heard. I remember that day when we got all of our gear for the season. Yep. We got like Under Armour t-shirts and everything.
I'm trying to trade with people.
You're trying to trade. You're in the corner. You're in the corner, and all I hear is good. And I look in the corner, and all I see is just this Under Armour shirt,
tank top,
this tank top Under Armour shirt eating your stomach,
dude.
It looked like you were vacuum sealed into your.
I know. It was insane. I mean, and it was and then what's nuts is when I came in the next year, it fit me. I don't know what happened.
Okay, weird brag.
I was so heavy.
Yeah.
Good way to bring it back there, Dev.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I had to bring it back somehow. I went from looking like
Boys, you should see
Tim Thomas times 3.
I wish I took a picture of it, but I got a new sticker on the Jeep. Do you want to know what it is?
Coexist. What'd you get?
Biden 2020. No.
God help me.
It's an avocado.
No, it's not. Brock, you did not.
Yeah. I wish I had a picture to show you, but I saw it at Dick's when I was buying a disc. And
I would geek.
That's
Zach Roberts told me about it. He was like, I was gonna buy it for you, I didn't, and then I saw it and I was like, hey, I should just embrace it. I'll put an avocado on the back of the car, whatever.
That's so beauty.
Dude, that is absolutely hilarious.
Avocados are, that's unreal.
They're unreal.
Oh,
healthy
that's
fat.
funny, man.
That's me.
Oh, yeah.
That's me. I'm a healthy fat.
You are a healthy fat. Man, I'm still laughing. Wait, what were you going to say?
Still laughing at my Under Armour? I tried to roll it up before the game.
You Pierce, you literally tried to look like Ezekiel Elliott when he rolls up his Under Armour just below his nose. You literally went for that look.
That's what I looked at, and I was acting like I was doing it on purpose, but it wouldn't. It was like one of those things when you try to lower your shirt and it just pops right back up.
Hey, you know how like Ezekiel Elliott and those shredded guys like to have that V cut?
Yeah. Mine was square.
Devin had a U cut. His belly.
U Sports, dude. That freaking, and honestly, dude, I remember. I'll never forget it. We were playing Ohio, and I go through the line, and one of their players looks at me. He goes, "Dude, you're fast for your size." I get back to the locker room and I let it resonate with me. I'm like, man, I gotta lose some weight. Like, if someone is taking their time out of the handshake line to come up to me and say I'm fast for my size, like, he wasn't talking about being tall. Like, dude, So anyway, I came in the next summer and actually tried to not look like Ezekiel Elliott. Had gained 400 pounds. And, but anyway, right now I'm in decent shape, but I definitely need to start like lifting, actually like doing more freaking strength training.
Oh, dude, that's so
Brock,
funny.
you look good. Bo, you look good. You guys look like you're in good shape.
Pierce, that's what I'm talking about. You can't even see us barely.
I can see your upper body. So unless you have two different bodies, you look good from the top.
Kerr, our strength coach at Liberty, actually made us all do an in-body test, and I'm coming in at 15.6 body fat percentage. I was pretty stoked with that.
That's good, bro.
That's pretty good, bro.
I think 2 years ago was the last time we did. I think I was at like a 19. So I'll take it.
Pretty good, man. That's pretty good, actually.
Who was it that we were all ripping that year? Because everyone was waiting for mine to come through, and someone else was higher.
Yeah, yours wasn't that bad, Pierce, actually.
No, yours was good.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was like 16 or something.
Yeah.
I was like, what the heck?
Brett Gammer is coming in at like a 5%. You should see this guy.
God.
Yeah, that's impressive. That's impressive.
It's not – I don't want to talk that good about him because you know how he
Oh
gets.
no, Brock. I'm gonna have to cut this out then if you talk anything good about him.
But all I was gonna say is like, I don't know how much he weighs, but he looks, skinny ripped.
Yeah, he is skinny ripped.
No, he's not.
Oh, sorry. No, he's not skinny ripped.
He's not skinny ripped.
Agreeing.
He's just straight up ripped. Like,
dang.
Yeah.
Dude, I swear, I hope he does. I hope neither of the Gammers listen to this.
Honestly,
Cole definitely won't.
No, scumbag.
Scumbag.
Brett might though. Brett and Hunter rip it when they travel.
They will.
Also have to give a shout out to Jason Foltz. He loves to listen to the boys.
Dude, Foltzy's a beauty.
Me and Foltzy sit next to each other in the locker room. He's a little twerp of a freshman, but he's a good kid.
Sounds like a loser. No,
a little bit.
No, I'm just kidding.
He looks like he's 15.
Looks like Ed and Eddie. Foltz is a beauty though. He came down
I like
and joined.
to call Foltz and Bryce Harry and Lloyd from Dumb and Dumber. Because when those two get going, you're like, what?
Dude, Bryce.
Hey, guys, I don't give a rip about Bryce right now.
Sorry.
Hey, by the way, guys, hey, let's throw it to Wonger. Hey, I'm gonna say this.
Will you turn?
Yeah, good grief. Speaking of you, cut it. We're gonna throw it to the interview.
I don't care about Bryce. Cut it to the interview.
Yeah.
You good over there? What happened? Does Cam need you?
I'm fine. No, Cam is she'll need me later, but not right now.
Avocado.
Where
is
Cam?
What's Cam up to these days?
Oh, that she's teaching full on. So we do this whole role play teacher student thing. What? No, like to train her for training purposes, of course.
Yeah.
But no, she's teaching full time working, and
your mom listens, right?
Tutoring, and my dad.
Oh,
but they'll understand honesty. They know honesty. I mean, hey, it's not. I'm telling you, we do it for training purposes. She's gonna need a full time job in the next year as a teacher or 2 years. So I mean, we need to practice.
Your mom is a saint.
Yeah.
You know that?
Yeah, she really is.
She's a beauty.
She's an absolute saint.
Yeah, I love her. I know you guys do too. She's great. Boys, hey, listen, let me say this. It's really good to be back. It's so good to be back, man. I miss laughing with you guys. But at the same time, it's not all about us today. It's also about Mr. Tyler Wong. And so what we are going to do is we're going to throw it to him. And let me tell you this, you guys, for everyone listening, don't shut off your radio. If you're working out, keep working out. Push yourself because you need to hear this interview. If you're driving, go back home and drive to wherever you're driving again because you're going to want to hear this. You're going to want to hear this. Extend your trip because I was telling the boys before, this is probably one of the best interviews we've ever had on the Bo Show. And I kid you not. I know he's not the biggest ever name we've had. We've had some big names, but the content-wise, the stories, phenomenal. So enjoy it, everybody.
Yep.
We'll be back after to discuss. Everybody, Tyler Wong. Well, what's up, guys? Super excited about today's guest. Today's guest is calling in from Moscow, Russia. So you guys right off the bat, we got to make this clear. You guys are going to have to excuse the a second to 2 second delay. He's on a 10-hour time difference. So excuse us, excuse our turtle Wi-Fi. Anyway, our guest today is calling in from Moscow, Russia. He's a former captain for the Lethbridge Hurricanes in the WHL. He put up 298 points in 317 games. Boy, I got to catch my breath after that one. He is now currently a forward for Kunlun Red Star in the KHL. Okay. After going undrafted in the NHL, our guest today went into Vegas Golden Knights camp back when the team was originated in 2016. First ever exhibition game for the team. And what does he do? He scores the franchise's first goal, showing them how to really party. Okay. He tacked on 2 more for the hat trick in that game. Is that good? He then spent 2 seasons, 2017 and 2018 and 18 and 19 with the Chicago Wolves in the AHL before now heading off to play, as I mentioned, in the KHL. Please welcome to the podcast the somewhat recently married man from Cochrane, Alberta, Tyler Wong.
What an intro. Thanks for having me, man. Good to be here.
Yeah, man, it's good to have you here. It really is. I'm super excited about today. Over the last few days, we kind of just got connected through a series of connections and mutual friends that we have, and just super excited to have you on. Well, hey, before we talk about your time in Vegas, because I know that everyone's gonna be curious about, okay, well, what was going through your mind in that first ever game? Like the first time that anyone had ever put on a Vegas Golden Knights jersey, you were a part of that. Okay, but now you're in Beijing, China. You're in the KHL. Well, you're currently in Moscow, Russia, but the team's based out of Beijing. But you're playing in the KHL. Let's start with your time in the WHL, though. Let's rewind the clock a little bit. Your 20-year-old year back in 2016-17. That was a special year. Okay, you put up 51 goals in Lethbridge, which led all WHL players that year, and you also won the WHL and CHL Humanitarian of the Year award. Basically, you were the nicest, coolest dude in Canada, and you had the most goals. How special, how much fun was that 20-year-old year for you?
Oh, it was amazing. Like, just looking back on that, like sometimes, like you get sent like on like Twitter or Facebook, like the rewinds or whatever, like this day, like 5 or 6 years ago or whatever. And I see the videos of like, some games or some pictures of me and some of the guys from Lethbridge. And it just it was amazing. Like we just like all the guys that were on that team that year, like we all stay in touch, like got a few of your buddies, like Riley Lindgren and a few other guys that are, I'm pretty close friends to this day. We had a really good team that year. We were all really tight, and just obviously it went really well for me, and was able to win that award as well, which was really special. But yeah, it was an amazing year and just capped off like from my 5 years there really well.
Yeah, dude, that is so cool. And I gotta say something. We got something in common. Okay, because obviously a lot of the fans know and a lot of the people know that I played for the Steinbach Pistons in the MJHL, one of the most prestigious junior A programs in Canada. Okay, like you're basically playing in the NHL in a small 20,000, 40,000 person city. Okay, not a big deal. It was pretty dirty. But of course, out of 40,000 people in Steinbach, who do you think they voted for the fan favorite 2 years in a row? 19 and 20. Okay, keep the change. Okay, right here, Bo Baby, fan favorite. You also had a similar experience. you had a similar experience, but you outdid me a little bit. You got the fan favorite award in Lethbridge in the WHL all 5 years that you were there. Okay, so in your humble opinion, what leads to an award like that? Like how does one get that fan favorite award?
Honestly, like my first year, I was kind of surprised I got it, but then it just kept coming every year at the end of the year. And I was like, well, I guess the fans like me for some reason. But honestly, I think like, on every team I played on, like all the guys kind of make fun of me because like I take a lot of hits and like, put myself in pretty bad situations where I'm getting cranked and my helmet goes flying or like things like just, I kind of play like an idiot, a little reckless and do some stupid things. And I think the fans kind of like how, I'm not the biggest guy and kind of just fly around and just get cranked a bunch and then score a few goals. So I think it hits home with the fans,
Yeah, dude, I love that. I absolutely love that. I mean, that's the definition right there. That is the recipe for a fan favorite. Go out there, get cranked, get you like play without a bucket for a few minutes, and then spot a few. I mean, that's the recipe. Now, but on a bigger stage though, when you played with the Chicago Wolves, okay, with the Chicago Wolves in the AHL, you got a wicked trend going here because you also won the Man of the Year award in Chicago. So was that same kind of energy and that kind of the same reasons that you mentioned to me, was that also like played a part there? And what about community? Because everywhere that we look, we see you just heavily involved, pouring into whichever community you're in.
Yeah, that Chicago award was kind of like the team humanitarian of the year. So I don't think it was for me getting cranked on the ice, but yeah, it was just from an early age, for me, like I've always felt like this like incredible blessing of being able to like play hockey, and then eventually now like being a full-time like pro hockey player is just overwhelming how blessed I am, like, to have the family and like the abilities to be here, you know. And you know, my parents always, like, you know, the hockey was never like, even though, like, you know, they worked hard and were able to afford it, it was never like a right that I had, you know, like that I just, no matter what I did, like in school or how I treated people, like if I was, you know, misbehaving when I was young, you know, like hockey wasn't a guarantee. It was something that, you know, I had to kind of like earn and like be a respectful person, you know, for my parents to like even let me play, you know. Then I think that it just instilled in me like how, like, the blessing it is to be able to like be a hockey player. So, you know, when I got to Lethbridge, you know, and kind of got a few seasons under my belt and kind of figured it out, you know, that really, you know, came back to me, that feeling of, you know, privilege and how lucky I was to be there. And the staff there like really helped me like start a few initiatives, you know, where we were able to help out a lot of the communities there, and, you know, start up a lot of little fundraisers that are, you know, still going there. And I think one of the coolest ones is me and your buddy Lindy, he and one other guy, Carter Folk. We all donated like $5 for every goal we scored, and for those two guys that are like notoriously cheap, that was a huge step. And you know, you know, I think I'm not sure, but I know the year after I left, I know they were still doing something like that for kids sport. And you know, that was like an organization that you know, gives money to kids to be able to help them, like, you know, stay active and you know, either go to sporting events or organize little like skates for them, or, you know, whatever kind of activities they have set up. So there was just some it was just a great organization to be able to, you know, kind of share the blessing that we have to be able to be hockey players with, you know, people that wouldn't be able to afford it. And then you know, in Chicago, it was, there was a few other things. It was a little more difficult. You know, Lethbridge is a small town and you're more recognizable. So we were able to, you know, go to schools and talk to kids, and, you know, the kids freak out and are like, you know, you're a big deal there. And in Chicago, you're probably like the 10th most famous sports team in the city. So it wasn't as big a deal, but, you know, like we still did, you know, like went to schools and, you know, did things where we were able to connect with the kids and did a lot of things. And you know, it was awesome there. And, you know, I got recognized for it, which is great. Obviously you don't do those things for the awards, but obviously it feels good to be recognized, you know? So yeah, so it just something that my parents have instilled in me, you know, to kind of be able to take the blessings that you've been given and share them with others.
Dude, that is so cool. And I absolutely love that. I got two responses to what you're going to say. First of all, I was going to say, you know, in life in general, you know, when you have impact in someone's life or whatever, there is nothing wrong with admitting and saying, hey, listen, it felt really good to get, you know, noticed for that, because really being appreciated for what you're doing goes a long way and can really push you. And so the second thing I was going to say, that year that you guys donated $5 for every goal that you scored, was that the year, like I mentioned, did you say that was your 20-year-old year when you put up 51 goals and led the whole WHL in scoring?
Yeah, that was my 19 and 20-year-old year. So yeah, the 20-year-old year, you know, in the WHL, you're not making much money. So it was like every goal, me and Lindy would look at each other and be like, "Oh boy, like here we go. Gonna be hitchhiking to the rink for practice," you know.
Well, Lindy, I was gonna say about with Lindy, I wouldn't doubt with Lindy. Lindy puts up maybe 20 goals. I don't know what he had, but maybe let's say he put up 20 in his 19-year-old year, $5 at 20, $5 for 20 goals. His 20-year-old year, Lindy strikes me as the guy says, "All right, let's boys, maybe let's knock that down to $1 a goal."
No, and yeah, he was the kind of guy, you know, like he was net front on the power play. You'd shoot one by him and he'd clearly tip it, and you'd be like, "Oh, $5. Hey, no, I didn't touch that. It wasn't me. It was yours, man. Take
it." That's so good, man. That's so good. Hey, let's skip forward now. Okay, so now you're done in Lethbridge. And I want to fast forward the clock to the whole Vegas Golden Knights kind of time that you had there. Vegas becomes a franchise in 2016. No one's worn the jersey yet. Okay, you strap them up for a game an exhibition game in Vancouver against the Canucks. First time people have seen this jersey live. What a cool opportunity. You score the first ever goal in Vegas Golden Knights history. Now listen, I don't care. I don't care if it's preseason or regular season, what they determine as the first franchise's goal. When I think of a true first, and some people might disagree with me on this, I think of, okay, well, literally who scored the first goal in that jersey? And that was you. So before we go into the hat trick that you scored after that in that game, what's going on in your mind pregame? I know it's not like a cup final game 7, or it's not a your first regular season NHL game, but it's still a big stage. What's going through your mind pregame? And I want to ask, because you talked about some of the veteran guys in an interview you talked about some of the veteran guys who really made you feel at home and comfortable. So 1, what's going through your mind pregame? And 2, talk about a couple of the veteran guys, some of those household names that we would know that really made you feel comfortable and at home.
Yeah, that was a crazy day. Like, that was my first NHL preseason game. So leading into that, I just signed my first pro contract with their American League team. And in the years before, when I went to NHL camp, it was kind of well, I want to do well, but if I'm going to go back to junior. And this year it was, I'm a pro now. I gotta, this is my future. Everything kind of rides on how I perform now. I was so nervous. I found out I was in the lineup for that game, and we go to the airport, we're flying a private jet with I got a steak for pregame meal. I was just this is insane. Coming from a 6-hour day trip bus ride from Lethbridge to Edmonton, eating at Boston Pizza is it's a little bit different. So
yeah.
I was just in shock of how well we were treated. And I couldn't believe it. And then we get to the rink, I'm doing the warm up, I could barely even focus. I was so nervous. And for me, growing up in Canada, you watch so many hockey games on TV, Hockey Night in Canada. I'm not a Canucks fan, but that's a pretty Canucks is a big organization. You watch the Oilers and the Flames play the Canucks all the time, and you're just you're playing in that rink. You go for warm up, and I don't even remember warm up. And then coming to the game, I'm just sitting in my stall, I can barely breathe, and then go out and I think it was my second shift, I scored, and I was so shocked. I didn't even celebrate. I looking back, there sometimes I'll see it after the game, I saw pictures of myself and I looked so unfazed that I just scored, and the first one, I just was in shock. I scored and just stood there, fist bumped a few guys, went to the bench and just sat down. And then the next shift I scored again. And I was I just blacked out basically. I couldn't even believe what was happening. And then I got an assist the next shift after. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say you went to the bench after that second one. You head coach hands you a black Sharpie. You sign quick, and then you go back out and get the apple.
I wish, man. I wish. No, it was crazy. I just that first period, I had 3 points and on maybe 5 or 6 shifts, and I was just this is insane. And then, the second period, I don't think I scored in that one. Then the third period, I stole a pass and scored again. And I was just I didn't even smile after that. And I was just in shock. And then after the game, I just couldn't even believe what was happening. Got interviewed by CBC, and as a Canadian kid, you're wow, no way. CBC Huge. And Sportsnet are interviewing me right now, it was the most insane day ever. I could never have imagined that happening. And then I go back to my stall, and my phone had so many notifications. It had been on the whole game. It just been buzzing the whole time. So my phone died. So I couldn't even look at my phone or call my fiance at the time, or my parents, couldn't call anyone. My phone just died. So I just was sitting there just watching the other guys cool down, just sitting in my stall, just doing nothing. I was like, this is kind of wish I had a phone charger, Finally found one and figured it out. But no, it was yeah, it was just wild. Like I couldn't believe that happened. Like you always as a hockey player, you every now and then you get have little daydreams about how the perfect game or things happening to you that that are never gonna happen maybe. But that was one of those times where I was just like, man, I can't believe that actually happened to me. It was wild, but yeah, something I'll never forget. That's for sure.
Dude, what an unbelievable story. As you mentioned too, for a lot of the Americans who are going to be listening, they hear CBC and Sportsnet, and a lot of these guys have never heard of anything other than ESPN. Well, I got a news for you guys down south. That's being interviewed by, Fox Sports or NBC Sports and ESPN, right? These are the biggest networks. And I know it's not all about that, but just the game, dude, how it went, unbelievable story. So who were a couple of the vets, or maybe a couple of the guys who really kind of who maybe you looked up to when you were in Lethbridge or pre-pro career that you then got to meet and hang out with, and were kind of guys that made the new guys feel at home and feel good about themselves?
Yeah, that was the coolest thing about that camp was going there as, an undrafted free agent on an American League contract. I was a nobody, going to that camp. I just was going in there, going to the gyms, practicing, keep my head down, not say anything. And it was really cool, how, Marc-Andre Fleury, you hear stories about him being the nicest guy in the NHL, and it's true. He first day I was there, he comes up to me, introduces himself, asked me where I played, how things are going, just says everything, and a few other guys Jonathan Marsh, just so he would always talk to me and hang out with me, we get meals at the rink, and as a young guy, there's not a lot of younger guys at camp later on, and so I would just sit by myself for those meals, and Marchie and a few other guys Fleury would come and sit with me and just have lunch and hang out with me, and it was just shocking how how nice they were to me, honestly. I was they had all their teammates there, and they made the time to sit with me and hang out and stuff. So there were so many guys there that were just unbelievable, that were just that would go out of their way to make me feel welcome. So that was awesome.
That's so cool. That's so cool, man. Oh yeah, and it's cool for people like us too, because I mean now that you've turned pro, you're playing against a lot of these household names, these names that we've heard of our whole life, looked up to, watched on TV, especially now in the KHL, just against tons of guys there, Marcus Granlund, and I mean Datsuk, of course, and now a bunch of guys you're playing against in the KHL that it's that's but for us to hear these stories, it's it's pretty cool. So speaking of the KHL, let's move there now. Now it's time for us to get the inside scoop. You're with the new team. You're with the newest team in the KHL. You're with the newest team in the KHL. You're with Kunlun Red Star, who are based out of Beijing, China. Okay. Wow. But I want to ask you, how on earth is it? I mean, I know you're not there right now, but this team was formed in 2016. How the heck is it playing out of Beijing, China, pro hockey in, I would argue the next best league in the world? How is it playing in Beijing, China?
Oh, it's awesome, man. Obviously, because of COVID, we're not able to go back there this year. And honestly, I miss it. It's amazing. I didn't know what to expect going in, and I didn't really know anyone on the team, and didn't know what, I'd never been to China. And, we get there, and the first couple of weeks were a little tough. We were in a pretty small hotel room, me and my wife, and it was 35 degrees Celsius with so much humidity. We were just dripping sweat. Our hotel room didn't have AC. and we were just dying for the first couple of weeks. But like after we found a place to live, like it was amazing. Like it was so much fun. Like I loved it, and like my wife loved it too. She came over right away. She got a job there. She got connected with, she was actually singing in church there. Like it was amazing. Like we made a ton of friends, like through the church and through her. She was a substitute teacher for a little bit at a school there in China. So she had a lot of friends there, and it was awesome. Like I don't know if you've heard of the fake markets where they sell like,
yes,
you know, like knockoffs and stuff.
Yeah,
though that might be one of my favorite places in the whole world. It is so much fun. Like on, you know, like days off or like even after practice, like me and some of the guys and like, or me and the wife, we just go there and like without even the intention of buying things, and we would just like haggle with these people, just go back and forth. And it was awesome because they like these people, like, you know, literally just learn English so that they can like talk to like tourists to try and get them to buy some of their stuff. And on like all the guys make fun of me now, but I would say 75% of the clothes I wear are fake, like straight from the fake market. Like I don't care how little of a discount it is. Like I was buying like, you know, like a knockoff Under Armour for like $5. I was like, it's a nice shirt. Like I don't care if it's not like something sick. I probably saved like, you know, like $60, but like I'm doing it. Like it's a nice shirt for $5. So
yes.
But no, it was awesome because like you walk by all the stores, and like my wife, like, you know, like me and her would walk by a store, and if it was like a female store, like the guy would pop his head out and be like, "Oh, beautiful lady, like you come in store, you treat your woman right." and like we would just keep walking, and then we go by like a men's store, and then this like a lady would pop her head out and be like, "Oh, you handsome boy, you handsome," and like pull me in the store and be like, no, like, no, I can't do that. No, like, I don't want any of this stuff. Like, and so like, it was just so much fun, like just ripping around those places. Cause there was like 3 or 4 of them. They all had like hundreds of stores, and you could actually get a lot of nice things, but it was more of like, just for the experience, like of going there. So that was one of the highlights there. And like, you know, like the sights of like seeing the Forbidden City, the Great Wall. Oh, by the way, I can do a Chinese accent. It's not racist because I'm Chinese, so it's all good. Just putting that one out there. Unless you want to cut that, I don't know.
No, we'll absolutely let that slide. I can appreciate that.
Yeah. So we you know, we got to see so many cool things there. Like the Great Wall is like amazing. Like it was so breathtaking, and like the Forbidden City as well. Like everything, like all those, like, you know, the ancient like historical things that we got to see there were amazing too. So honestly, like Beijing's awesome. Like I loved it. And you know, like our rink actually was under construction. Like we were playing out of a different rink that was a little bit like far from like downtown where all of us lived, like in the central area of Beijing. So it was a little bit outside of town. So it was a little bit tougher for fans to like make the trek out there, but we still would get, you know, like 2,000 fans or more. Like that was minimum, like probably like 3,500 fans a game. And it was funny because like, you know, like our wives would come to games, and like they know, like, you know, you go to a hockey game and like people don't know hockey, they don't know when to cheer. So like all these fans would be, you know, like just jumping around at random moments, and like you'd have the puck on your stick, and something would like you'd just be skating like in your own zone, and like you'd hear like people screaming, like, and it's a pretty like it was a pretty like quiet rink, and you could just hear this like group of people screaming, and you're like skating with the puck, like what, like is something happening, you know? So it was just like a year of just like we had a really good team. Like it was an amazing group of guys, which was awesome. Like we had like most of our team was North American, and our coach was North American. He was awesome. And yeah, it was just an amazing experience. Like, but it was just a lot of funny experiences, and just kind of got to roll with it, you know? So it was awesome. I loved it.
Dude, that's so cool. That is so cool. Now, but more on the hockey side of things, like, well, I shouldn't say not more on the hockey side of things, but like your team and kind of who you're playing against and stuff like that. Your head coach, now, correct me if I'm wrong, is Montreal Canadiens legend Alex Kovalev.
Yeah.
Now, how is it playing?
That's pretty cool.
How is it playing under Alex Kovalev?
Oh, it's great. Like his skills are insane. Like just watching him, like even now, like he's still like, well, he loves hockey so much. Like I've never met a person that loves hockey more than him. Like we'll just be practicing and he will be like hopping in every drill. Like after practice, he'll just like grab pucks and just start stick handling by himself. And just like just continuously like just wants to like get better at hockey still. And like some of the stuff he does is just like next level, and you can see why he had such an amazing career is because of like what he can do. And like some of the times where like he's like gives us he's an amazing like great skills coach, like always helps us with our hands and our shots and like very good technically to help us like improve our skills. But a few times like I've been like talking to him and he'll be talking to me about on the power play, he's like, yeah, if you go here, just you gotta go on the backhand and just sauce it through the box like on your backhand. And I'm like, you want me to go to my backhand, sauce it 3 feet in the air over 4 sticks in the wheelhouse of the guy for a 1-T?
That's normal for him.
I'm like, Kobe, like I can't do that, man. Like I'm not even gonna try to do that. Like you don't want to see me try and do that.
Yeah.
I'll just shoot it. And so so it's no, but it's great. He's doing a great job, and just being able to learn from someone that with that skill set is amazing.
Mm-hmm. Now, I understand, like, obviously you're playing in the KHL, and again, for maybe some, I always like to give extra explanation just so people kind of get a gauge for where guests are coming from, just in case they don't understand. We never know. But for people who don't know, the KHL, or maybe aren't huge into hockey, the KHL is the I would say probably the next best league in the world, right under the NHL. And very close to it. I mean, even like it's not even directly under. They're very, very similar kind of playing fields, and it's like it's the Russian NHL really. And so playing against like some of these players that you're playing against out there, give us an inside scoop. I mean, on a couple of the top players that you've played with, and maybe a couple of the guys you've played against, where it's like, whoa, this is pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's crazy like how skilled like the guys are here, like it's I didn't know what to expect coming over here, and like before I got here I was like wasn't sure. You always hear like back home like Russians are like soft and don't compete, and like I came over here and the work level, like how hard the Russian players work and like practice games off the ice is insane. Like they live and breathe hockey. Like they are just like after games, like you'll see guys like putting on a tracksuit and going for jogs in the cold, like -10 outside. They'll go for a jog like with the tracksuit on, like trying to just like burn more calories. And like
with Khabib,
like like we'll have like an hour. Yeah, we'll have like an hour and 15-minute practice, and like after that, like like a bunch of us are like pretty tired, and the Russian guys will stay on for some of them will stay on for an extra like 45 minutes. And we're just like, I don't know how these guys, like their bodies handle this, So, like they work so incredibly hard, and it's so high skill level. It's tough to keep up sometimes. Like my skating's definitely got better because it's such a big proponent of the game here that we skate a ton in practice and, work so much on like our conditioning that it just comes along naturally. But, as far as like guys on other teams, like there's some like really sick players that are here. Like Nigel Dawes is basically the king of the KHL. He played in the NHL for a while. He's like one of those like he's on Akbars right now. We actually played them last night. But he's getting a little bit older, but he's an amazing player. Actually, Pavel Datsuk is like just like Kobe, like our coach is just amazing. Like just watching him play, being on the same ice as him, it's hard not like when you're playing against him, it's hard to not like stare at him and watch what he's doing and actually focus on the game, So let's I actually have a funny Datsuk story.
Let's hear
last year. So we were like I was on the ice against him, and he was kind of wheeling around our zone, like from like his like I was left wing, so I was over here covering my D, and he rolled up over the blue line and was coming down here, like holding off a guy, like protecting the puck. And I was like, man, like, because I always, like, when I was young, like, worship Datsuk. Like, this guy's like one of my favorite players ever. And I was like, man, like, it'd be kind of sick if I rocked Datsuk, because like my brothers are huge fans, and like my dad too. And like I was like, man, it'd be kind of sick, like, for all my buddies back home if I just rocked Datsuk, like, clean. But I was like, I'm gonna try. So I, like, that was all kind of like went through my head really quick. I go to step up on him, and he puts it, he has it on one hand. He like puts it behind his back and jumps by me, like just jumps, like slides by me. I'm like in the air, just hit air, fall down. It was so embarrassing. Like, I fell down, face planted. Datsuk wheels around on his backhand, sauces it to my D-man that walked into the slot, and they score. And I was like, I'm never trying to hit. I'm never trying to hit this guy ever again. I don't need to hit anymore.
Oh,
yeah,
dude,
it was wild.
Hey, I mean, it'd be great too if I mean, were you able to you said your brother, were you able to kind of like grab that clip and set, or was he watching, or were you able to send that to him, or what?
I'm not sure if they saw the video, but I told them the story, and yeah, they got a good laugh out of that one. But, yeah.
Dude, that's so cool. That's awesome. Datsuk was going to be one of the guys I was going to actually ask about. So you answered that one for me. That's a great story. And I mean, even if you hit a guy like that too, nothing against you, but even if you hit a guy like that, generally guys like that who aren't like they're just made like just mini fridges, you know, like they're just impossible to move. Like they're so strong. They got that old man strength too. And maybe a little bit of Russian gas in them too, which leads to my next question. I have to ask. Of course, everyone's always talking about it. What can you give us? What can you tell us? What's the inside scoop you can give us from being literally in Moscow, Russia right now, the heart of the KHL? What can you tell us about Russian gas?
I know it's I don't know how much it like is more of just like a myth that guys aren't really sure what it is, but they just kind of like, there's a few different things, like there's lots of IVs that like the doctors will give you. There's like these other things that they'll give you that, you know, like will make you feel better and stuff that you don't really know what you're taking.
Yeah.
So I don't think I'm not sure exactly what like the exact Russian gas is. I just know there's a lot of things that could be defined as the Russian gas. So it's tough to say what other guys are looking for, but there's a lot of things here that, you know, that can make you feel good.
Yeah. So my question then would have to be, and again, don't feel any pressure. I mean, you don't have to answer. I just figured I'd ask. But I mean, do you have any experience with like with an IV or getting asked to get put on an IV or whatever? And like, how did it change? Like, how did it change your game, or was it like just like how did it make you feel?
Yeah, I was last year, like I was like, when I was talking to like our doctor's Russian, so it makes it pretty difficult to like communicate with him. So you don't really know what he's giving you. Like even when you say like I got a headache, like give me like a Tylenol or something, like it doesn't say Tylenol on the box, and he can't really explain what he's giving to you. So it's you're kind of playing a guessing game. But like last year, me and my roommate, like we went for lunch and came home, and like I was just puking my guts up. Like I was dying, like couldn't eat anything like the rest of the day, like had like was like the sweats, you know, like the chills, and like was feeling horrible. And so the doctor and like my roommate wasn't feeling great, but like he wasn't like puking like me. So I think it was just like food poisoning or something. But the doctor like came into our room with IVs, and I was like, is that going to help? Like, I don't know what this is. He's like, yeah. He's just like, lay down. So me and my roommate got one too. He was like not feeling that bad either, but he's like, I'll try it. And so we lay down in bed. He puts the IV in, puts the bag, tapes it like above our beds in our hotel room.
Yeah.
Just like when we just lay there with the IV bags like taped above our heads, and like we just watched a movie with the doctor while we got these IVs. And then he just takes the IV out, walks out of the room. And like that night, like I didn't feel like, I just fell asleep right after that. But the next morning I felt like amazing. And I hadn't eaten like 24 hours, like hadn't ate a thing, hadn't drank much water because I was puking so much. And I just like woke up and I was like, it was like I had the best sleep ever, like was eating so good the last couple of days. Like I was dialed in, and I was like, there's no way this is like normal. Like I should not be feeling this good.
Dude, what, like, if you could honestly sum up the Russian gas into one story, that would be it. It's so funny how people talk about it, and we've asked multiple guests. I mean, we've had probably, 5-6 guests who have been overseas or had an experience with the KHL or heard someone with the KHL. And we've asked them about the Russian gas. And of course, on Spit and Chicklets, you always hear boys shooting off about Russian gas, and they love this kind of stuff. But it's cool to get the inside scoop on that. Hey, you're down there with your wife right now. You guys got married 2 years ago in July. Like we talked about before, I got a little something in common. Myself, I got married my beautiful wife in July, this past July 18th. It's been great. Sex has been great. No, I'm just kidding. But, how has it been having your wife there with you? I mean, was she on board with the whole, hey babe, like I know that life right now is good in Chicago, but, pack your bags, 'cause we're going to, play for Kunlun Red Star in Beijing. How did she take that? Was she pretty excited about it or what?
Yeah. She was obviously a big part of that decision to go over there. And, like being in Chicago was great, but, for me, it was basically just like, I needed to make a change for my career to, like, take a step forward and kind of, in Chicago, it was tough for me to be able to, put up points and, make the next step, obviously. And, I just thought I needed a bigger change to go overseas and kind of try and, work my way back to the NHL that route. Obviously coming over here is a little, you're farther away, but like you said, it's a good league. It's a really good league. And like, if you do well here, there's always opportunities to go back. So, she's amazing. She's like, my rock that always keeps me grounded, when I have bad games and if things are going kind of crazy. She always is there for me to kind of vent to, but also, she can give me a kick in the butt and help me to get back on track and quit, whining about things. But she was a big part of that decision. We talked a lot about that. We prayed about that and just kind of, we decided it was the best thing for, for us and for our marriage and, for our future to be able to go over there. And obviously the money's a little bit better in the KHL than the American League as well. So that was also a big bonus of coming here. But she's actually she hasn't been able to come this year yet. So it's been almost 2 months where we've been apart, which it kind of sucks, not being able to be together. It's tough right now with COVID, getting visas and all these different things. Like you need an invitation letter to get to even apply for the Russian visa. And once you apply for the visa, it's not guaranteed to even get it approved. So there's just a lot of hoops to jump through right now. So hopefully she'll be able to come over in the near future, but we'll see. She's just waiting at home, waiting for that text to book a flight. So we'll see.
That's awesome.
No, she loved it in China. Like I said, she got that substitute teaching job. So, last year it was pretty crazy. Like our travel was the most insane I've ever experienced. Like we were the closest team. There was 2 teams near right on the east coast of Russia that were only like 3-hour flights, but other than that it was like 7 hours to Siberia, and then it was like 13 or 14 hours to Moscow.
What?
So it was a 14 so we'd fly 7 hours to Siberia, and then another 6 or 7 to Moscow. And that was like our standard road trip would be flying to Moscow 14 hours, stay there for a day or two, maybe play one of the teams. There's 4 teams in Moscow, so maybe play a team there. And then we would use kind of Moscow as our hub city, and we'd like fly 3 hours here, play the game, go back to Moscow, fly here, play a game, go back to Moscow. So we'd be on the road for like 14 to 20 days, like at a time. Like it was, there was only like throughout the year, like 4 or 5 road trips, but they were all like 2 or 3 weeks long. And so that was, if my wife didn't have a job, like back in China when I'm gone for like 20 days, I think she would have went crazy. So it was awesome that like, the team helped her get that job at that. It was an all English school. So she was just teaching normal classes in English to the kids, and like she loves kids, and it was awesome for her. So whenever we'd go on the road, because she was a substitute, she would just, whenever they'd call her, she'd just grab as many shifts as she wanted, and she'd work like 4 or 5 days a week. And obviously like we found an amazing church there, and like where she became like she was a member of like small groups, like was a youth group leader. She sang in the worship on Sundays, like, so just like she was super connected, made so many friends that she was able to do things with that when we were on the road, that she really like dove right in, and it was awesome. Like she loved it, and she said she's missing it too. She misses a lot of her Chinese friends. So it'll be great to be able to go back there one day and visit them. So so it was
like that's super cool. And that like is a perfect transition into my next question, because I was going to ask, I think most importantly, man, what I appreciate about you, what I love about you is that you are, you're a follower of Christ, you're a believer. And I think that's so cool. And, you mentioned how your wife is just getting involved in the church in China. But being a Christian in China is, it's not something that you can really, and correct me if I'm wrong, but there's almost a potential danger there. You got to be a little bit careful. And I don't know, maybe if I'm wrong, but just from a missions trip that our hockey team went on 5 years ago to China, this is just kind of the information I was getting from them. How is it being a Christian in China, and even a Christian kind of on your team? How is the culture there different for your faith compared to the culture for your faith back here in Canada or in the States?
Yeah, I think, in China, it's crazy. Like they're obviously, communist countries, so they're able to they're allowed to decide what, people, they want to basically control what people believe and can hear in like the media and stuff. So it's a little bit, a little bit strict, but in China, like when you go to church, like you have to have a completely the church, it's not illegal to be a Christian there. It's not illegal to have churches, but it's illegal to integrate Chinese Christians that are Chinese citizens with non-Chinese citizen Christians. So like when we would go to church, you have to show your passport proving that you're not a citizen of China. So because they don't want missionaries coming. It's illegal for missionaries to come into China and spread Christianity to non-Christians that are Chinese citizens. Wow. Yeah. So we would, go to church, and hopefully the Chinese government isn't listening to this podcast, but we would, in our small groups, we'd have small groups with, we would have it at people's apartments, which are technically I think they were illegal or frowned upon at least. So when we would go to someone's house for a small group, on a Friday night, we'd they'd have security guards. A lot of the apartment buildings or complexes would have security guards, and they'd talk to you and be like, "What are you doing?" We're we're going to a party, just party on this room. So we'd go up there and and for small groups, there was a couple times they would people would hear us singing worship music, and they'd knock on our door, and they would be like, "What are you what's going on?" And so we would all be like, "Happy birthday," and start singing happy birthday to someone, just pretending we're having a birthday party. So so it was it's definitely a lot different, but that church in China was amazing. It was going there, you could just feel the presence of Jesus in that church, if you know what I mean. It was so alive. All the people there were just so outgoing and on fire for Jesus. All the people, I would say the majority of the people there are there because they're led to be in Beijing by Jesus. They're not just there for because this is where they grew up. They're from all over the world. We met people from every country, Africa, Europe, North America, people from everywhere, and it was just amazing to be a part of like kind of a completely like a church that was basically completely like mission led, like we were there and the people there were always like so on fire and wanting to like, reach different groups of people and like inviting different people to like small groups or like, a couple times like they would come to my hockey games, like a group of the people, and they would invite their friends, and they would just, it was just amazing to see them, like how on fire they were for God. And it was amazing. And obviously the culture itself is very unwelcoming to Christianity, but
yeah,
my experience with obviously the language barrier is pretty, like you can't like converse with the average person, but a lot of like the people that we were able to were very like, were amazing people, and it was awesome. And obviously the culture in Russia as well it's very different than North America, where like the here the culture is more, mostly based upon money, so it's kind of a little bit different than North America, where like no matter what you believe, like it's generally accepted that you should be a good person and help others, like that's kind of like just the moral compass of North America is just being a good person and in Russia it's not really like that. It's more so just kind of looking out for yourself. So it's a little bit different. And there's actually a church that I've been able to connect with here. It's like part of like the Hillsong Church, and they have a small group here, and it's been crazy busy for me so far this year. So I haven't been able to attend yet, and they're not having services in person yet, but hopefully I'll be able to connect with that small group soon. So it's just crazy, like with all these travels, like being able to find groups of believers around the world that are actively pursuing Jesus and trying to spread his love to people. It's kind of just something really awe-inspiring almost, of how widespread Jesus' love is, so
yeah totally. And like I think that you're experiencing something right now that a lot of people don't get to experience, and that's just being able to connect with other believers from around the world, which is like, whoa, like that's pretty powerful and wicked to see like how God is moving in different areas of the world, man. But hey, Wonger, listen, man, I know that over there right now it's probably about 9:15. You got a big game tomorrow. You guys are playing again tomorrow and Tuesday, right? Yeah. So you know what, man, why don't like we're going to wrap this thing up. The last question I want to say, though, just as we kind of finish off this kind of talk on faith, is maybe for some people who are listening who are just kind of questioning, well, like what does it look like to be a to be a Christian, and all of these humanitarian awards and stuff like that you won, and it's like that, like kind of just, I want you to just kind of try to, I don't mean to put you on the spot, but explain how that's not like you're not so much obeying rules, or or like it's not like tradition, like you don't, like as a Christian you don't, like it's not a rule that you're following, oh well I have to do this so I'm going to go and do it. Explain how it's more of a heart posture, and how it's more of actually sharing the love that Christ has put inside you and that God's put inside of you. Like share how it's more of a heart posture than a rule that you're following to have an impact on people's lives in the hockey community with the platform that you have. And we'll wrap this up after that.
Yeah, I think, one of the questions I get a lot, because it's not, I don't keep it a secret on my teams that, I'm a Christian, and, I live my life a certain way. So, like the guys on my team, obviously know I'm a Christian, and, some of the question I get a lot from guys is like, oh, so like, what kind of stuff can't you do? Like, what don't you do? And like, that always, like, it doesn't catch me off guard, but I'm just like, the way I answer that, and like, if I were to like talk to someone who's kind of at that point, like that I find a lot of guys at, and that where I was at, when I was 16 years old and was kind of going through this and deciding whether I wanted to pursue a relationship with Jesus Christ. And the question is like, do I want to give up the ways of the world that, have this, like, the appeal of, like just like having sex and drinking and doing whatever, like doing basically whatever you want, you know, the appeal of the world. Do I want to give that up for Jesus? And, you know, for me, like I made the decision to have to pursue a relationship with Jesus. And, you know, it's, you know, like, it's difficult to really say, but, you know, like, I'm not saying that once you pursue Jesus, your life's just going to be blessed, you know, like everything. I don't just like, I don't agree with like the prosperity gospel that, like, you know, if you pursue Jesus, like you'll be rich, you'll make money, you'll do amazing things. But, you know, I know for a fact that, you know, like committing my life to Jesus, I just have this peace and this joy. And, you know, before Jesus, you know, like I'd have a bad game, you know, and I couldn't sleep after games because I was just thinking about everything and how things were going bad, or like, it's a roller coaster that, like, you know, that as a hockey player, you live a life that is just like ups and downs, and you're like, you get to like these really big lows, you know, and you have no constant, you can be traded, you can do all these things. But, you know, as a Christian, it just, you are serving the creator of the heavens and earth. And it's just like the peace that comes with that, and the joy of knowing that it doesn't matter how I perform, something goes for me, if the bounces go my way in life on and off the ice, like I'm going to spend an eternity with the creator of the heaven, like my creator, you know. And it just has given me so much joy and so much peace that I'm able to live my life kind of in a way that, you know, like not sweating the little things, you know, and just being able to just be like, have that everlasting joy that Jesus gives you. And just, sorry, I'm not a great speaker, but it's just tough to put into words, but it's just like this, you know, but it's just like this kind of like this thing that comes over you, and it's the Holy Spirit. And it just gives you this like almost like holds you up, you know. And like, you know, there's so many instances in my life, you know, where I feel like despair and feel like hopelessness. But, you know, like if you just like can imagine like Jesus being there with you, it just all disappears. And it's just an amazing feeling. And just like I don't even know how to put it into words, but it's just amazing. And, you know, like for hockey, I'm not saying that God wants me to be just scoring goals and doing all these things. And I think, you know, for me as a hockey player, I look at it as hockey's kind of my tool that I can use to impact different communities that I wouldn't be able to impact in a different job. And, you know, I don't look at it as just a, you know, a way to be, you know, popular or make money, or, you know, just selfish reasons. And I think of it really as like, how can I serve Jesus through the way that I play and, you know, do my job as a pro hockey player. So, you know, it's really changed my life. And you can ask anyone that knew me when I was younger, and I can guarantee you they'll say I'm a nicer guy and more fun to be around after I came to Jesus. So it's not about not being able to do things. You can still have lots of fun and, you know, hang out with the boys and do stupid things, but not, you know, cross the lines. So it's a lot of fun. And, you know, being a Jesus follower does not limit you. It actually opens you up to so many more things.
Yeah, dude, well put, man. And that's powerful coming from you. I know a lot of the time people hear it from, you know, a pastor or a spiritual leader, or, you know, a grandpa or a grandma or a mom or a dad or a friend or whatever. But I mean, it's kind of cool when we start to hear it from a professional hockey player who's been there, you know, who knows, who's been treated like an NHLer, who's had the highest of the high moments, and who's getting paid, right? And to hear it from a guy like you, to know, hey, listen, like, you know, money's not going to be the answer. Fame is not going to be the answer. No matter what you keep reaching for, you're not going to fill that kind of void that you're looking to fill, the void that, you know, God's kind of created in all of us. So it's like, the fact that it just comes from you, man, from a heart posture, I can just hear it in your voice. We all can. How genuine you are about your love for Jesus is just so impactful. And you know, it, like you said, you kind of stumbled. You're like, man, I don't know how to put it into words. Like, you just can't. It's like when something this powerful and when a God this big, when a God this real alters your life, I wouldn't expect you, no one would expect you to be able to put it into words and explain exactly how it feels. You know, it's like winning the Stanley Cup or Dustin Johnson winning the Masters. If you watch that, I mean, he couldn't even speak after. You know, it was just like you can't explain it. And so, dude, powerful stuff from you today. Hey, listen, Wonger, from all the way from your olden days in the left, all the way to where you currently are now in Moscow, Russia, and playing for Kunlun, man. Thank you for taking an hour out of your busy schedule. You guys had a game last night. You had today off. You play tomorrow and the next day. So, and you went to 10-hour time change right now. So it's 9:30 p.m. there. Wonger's got to get his Z's. Dude, we appreciate you coming on. We appreciate your transparency, and we love you, man. We're rooting for you as you move forward here.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. You're doing a great job with this podcast. Keep it up, man. It's great to meet you and, you know, be able to have this talk. So thanks a lot.
All right. That's Tyler Wong, everyone. Well, what an interview, boys. I mean, there's a guy right there who's all class all the way. I mean, as he talked about a lot at the end there, a man of faith and, you know, obviously that's something that we can resonate with. But, I mean, the stories, boys, like
insane.
I said, the content that we got, like the Datsuk story, the KHL IV Russian gas story. Are you kidding me, Piercey? Brock, are you guys?
I need that.
Right,
you know, it's great to hear a guy who's actually playing hockey right now at a pro level.
Seriously,
right? We're getting just annihilated here in the States, having to watch nothing. We can't watch anything.
Yeah,
NFL, I guess.
Sick.
You know, I'm dying to watch some hockey. So it's sweet he's able to play. Super great interview. Awesome guy. Crazy stories. I'm sure he's got so many more he can't tell on a pod being in China. Like, that's just crazy. Culture shock.
Dude.
No, seriously.
Absolutely.
Culture shock.
Yeah, big time. Anyway, I mean, we need more. We need, you know, it'd be good to get more guys like that. Brock, you make a great point. It's pretty cool to be talking to a guy who's right now currently in the middle of his season. Like, they've played a buttload of games, and they're over 20 games. And I mean, these guys are. It's pretty cool to talk to someone who's playing, who's in the midst of it all right now. Crazy, he hasn't seen his wife for 2 months. His wife's in Beijing, and he's in Moscow. I mean, just a wild life they're living.
Seriously.
I said it.
What?
I was telling Devin I said it first. We both said seriously.
Well, Brock, here's the thing.
Didn't you want to talk about the NFL?
Well, here's the thing. I was literally just about to say the perfect segue into our next part here, because I actually really wanted to talk to you boys about how there's literally been nothing else on TV to watch. And so I have actually began to watch NFL football. And can you guys resonate with that? Because I've actually been getting into it and have found myself, you know, entertained by watching NFL. It's crazy. I mean, CFL would be 1,000 times better, but I'm finding myself dialed in.
I'm confused. You just never watched the NFL in the past, or what?
I did, but generally speaking, there was some big-time overlap with the CFL. I mean, the CFL would have just ended probably about a week or two ago. So
they play only on Sunday?
The CFL rolls is Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. No games usually on Sunday.
So no excuse.
I got my football fix Thursday through Saturday. I didn't need Sundays. Sundays were a day of rest for my eyes.
You couldn't handle the superior level of football. Your brain had been already murdered by the lack of play.
I didn't need to see by the lack of Brock. Pierce has got the mute button on over there. He hasn't watched a lick of football.
I mean, I'm not texting right now.
Or something.
The Titans are filthy, dude.
Hey, I can leave my phone on the table too.
I swear to God, I'm not texting. Hey, you hear one of these? Because he's texting. You hear it drop? No.
Hey,
the reason why I'm not
Titans had a big wing.
That's what I
Derrick
was
Henry,
gonna say.
Dude. That guy's a freak.
Dude, if Derrick Henry came down on me one-on-one, I would run with him.
Who'd you rather have?
It is like a Coke machine.
Who'd rather have truck you? Derrick Henry or DK Metcalf?
Derrick Henry.
Oh, that's because Pierce doesn't know who DK Metcalf is.
I know. That's why I wanted to do it.
Who is that?
Yeah, who the is DK Metcalf?
Bo, do you know who that is?
Of course I do. Seattle Seahawks wide receiver. That guy's an absolute freak of nature.
You should have asked who do you want to him or Bergen?
Oh, that's an easy one. Bergen.
That's the easiest question in the world. This guy is the closest thing you can get to a completely genetically modified human.
Yes.
He's Predator.
The most artificial person right now. This guy is terrifying.
What's his name again?
Devin, he's the fastest guy on the field
in the world.
Game, and he's 6'3", 260 pounds.
Dude, he would kill me.
He would kill you.
I would do see his face. He has a tinted visor, and you can't see anything.
And pink hair.
He just growls.
He's a robot.
Dude,
he's a robot.
Does growl.
He's literally looks like he looks like what's that robot movie with Will Smith?
iRobot.
iRobot. He literally looks like iRobot.
Terminator.
Good grief.
Pierce is looking him up right now on his phone. He's about to fall off his chair.
I knew he was on his phone.
Yeah,
Is it more
easy?
No, I wasn't on my phone.
Easy click to Google. Just flicks right over.
I wasn't on my phone. But yeah, I guess that's why I said Derrick Henry.
Yeah, no. Derrick Henry would also be terrifying. No, not taking away anything from that guy. But no, the NFL's sick. I love watching the NFL. It's a little sad though to see how many guys are going down with season-ending injuries this year.
Yeah, you just saw Burrow. You just saw Burrow go out for the rest of the season, torn ACL and MCL.
Dude, it's every single week.
Yeah,
down, and it's not just like players day to day or 4 to 6 weeks. These guys are done for the year with season-ending surgery. Not injuries, surgery.
Oh, Brock, yeah, these are rips and tears. Like, it's wild.
What's going on this year?
Dude, I have no idea. It's just so fitting for 2020.
Yeah, it is.
Literally.
But you know what else has been fixing my sports need these days?
Disc golf live on TV?
No, never. Boxing.
Brock, I'm
really,
almost
Brock?
with you. I'm almost with you. But for me, it's UFC.
Well, obviously, everyone loves UFC, but that's something that I've already, I've indulged in. I've never watched boxing.
You just see guys suck
Tyson Fury.
Dude.
The Gypsy King.
I don't know who that is.
Gypsy King, I'm drawn blank.
Just go on Google quick and type Tyson Fury, Gypsy King. Tell me the first thought when you look at this guy.
Okay, one sec.
So
Tyson,
I got
what?
Okay. Well, we got the Google King, we got the Gypsy King, and then we got the Google King here.
No, Tyson. He just told us to go
Tyson
on. What do you
Fury,
want me to do?
Tyson Fury.
So I'm here's the thing: is in Canada right now on TSN, every weekend. I mean, in a regular non-COVID world, you good?
He's British.
Yeah.
Dude, this guy's a monster.
Pierce is looking at some gypsy.
This guy's 6'7" and has the most milk bag body.
What weight class is he in? The 400s?
The heavyweight, dude. He's the heavyweight champion of the world. Undefeated.
Can I get an exclamation for what the 400s weight class is?
It's just Devin and
Tyson Fury. Yeah. Dude, I would crush Tyson Fury.
It's Piercey and Tyson Fury.
Yeah, can you imagine? Dude, right now I'd be in the 180s.
I'm sure I'm off on this a little bit, but the last time I checked, I think he's 31-0-1, and his 0-1 was a tie against Deontay Wilder, who he knocked out in their second fight. this guy cannot be beaten. And he moves like he's like 5'5", and he's 6'7". He's
that's
6'7".
insane.
Complete milk bag body. He's got the same legs as I do, and he's absolutely trucking dudes. He is so much fun to watch. He calls himself the Gypsy King.
You're telling me that he has fettuccine noodle legs?
Yes. I'm not kidding.
His kicks are lethal because they like whip.
Devin.
It's boxing. I know.
There was so much,
right when I said it, I realized it.
there was so much with that
Like
statement.
Ryan Reeves is the best fighter in the NHL, dude. His skates, when he kicks guys, it's terrifying.
Yeah.
The noodle whips.
Dude.
What's some Alfredo on that kick?
Yep.
Alfredo on that kick.
What's some Alfredo on that kick?
Yeah, that's all.
Can you imagine, dude?
Oh, boys.
What up?
That's all I had. I just wanted to bring up the Gypsy King.
Good. Well, I don't know
I
how
want to watch it.
I don't know how we got there from he won't watch it. He's just saying that. I don't know how we got there from talking about NFL all the way to talking about the Gypsy King.
We're talking about monsters, dude. We're talking about guys that are units.
Yeah.
DK, Gypsy King, they all fit into that same, absolute unit.
Just freaks.
Unitville. Yeah, city of Unitville. Well, Brock and Piercey, I got to tell you guys, Pierce, big news, buddy. Big news. You graduated from your undergrad.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations, buddy.
Thank you, beauties.
We'll give you a couple snaps.
Dude, it feels good. It's good to be done. Feels good.
Yeah, can you expand on that a little bit there, Randy Moss, or no?
Feels good. Real good. The wind, it feels so good. No, it's beauty. A little bit more time, which is nice, not staying up too late, getting more sleep, gonna hit the gym, do some more strength training, get ready for some roller tournaments. Got a few of those coming up. Still waiting to hear back from physical therapy schools, so hopefully I'll know here soon where I'm going.
What are your top 3 PT schools right now
that I want to go to? There's one. Well, the main ones that I applied to that I want to go to are in Tennessee. So there's a few in Nashville. There's one in Alabama that I have an interview at. But it's only like 3 hours from here. But me and Emma would love to stay in this area. The one that I want to go to, it's called South College. It's out of Knoxville, Tennessee, but it's like a hybrid program. And it's only 2 years versus 3. So that would be ideal. I had an interview there like 2 months ago, and so I'm supposed to hear back this month. So we'll see, fingers crossed, but been praying about it a lot. Hopefully we'll see. But yeah, it feels super good to be done with undergrad. I had the graduation was, they announce your name, you stand up for 2 seconds, sit back down, boom, done.
Hey, thanks for the last 4 years of blood,
sick.
sweat, and tears.
Yeah.
Devin Pierce, you stand up. Your legs aren't even fully extended yet.
Yeah, I can't stand up.
Smith. You're like, for sakes, 4 years for that.
Worry. Yeah. But no, it feels good to be done. Thanks, beauties.
For what?
Support, man. Just being there.
I'm just messing with you. You're welcome, of course. Anything for you. Dude, we're seriously proud of you. And I can't wait for you to be able to treat me and massage me when I come and visit you once you have your –
I can't wait for you to come in. Can you imagine?
Handy. So, so boys, I mean, that is honestly,
God help me.
Unless you guys have anything, unless you guys really have anything else. I mean, that's all that I had. I mean, we had a great prelude, before the Wong interview, just how it's good it is to be back. Wong interview. It's been a long day. I mean, do you guys have anything else?
How are the pylons doing?
Oh yeah.
Say that again, Brock. Sorry.
How are the pylons doing?
Pylons, great question, Brock. Actually, hockey is also shut down in Winnipeg.
No.
Yeah, that includes.
Dang it.
That's because you're in communist Canada.
Yeah, I know. That includes Division I, recreational beer league hockey, Div 1. That includes that. So unfortunately, Josh's, my brother's captaincy has been put on hold. And he's really, as a GM, he's going to be challenged to find money in the budget to sign guys moving into next season.
What a beauty, dude.
Because, I mean,
what's
obviously.
the salary cap at this year? 20?
The salary cap this year was, I think it was just over $100, but still just over $100. Yeah. And like,
good.
Obviously you got a guy like me, like a Connor McDavid coming in that needs to get paid.
Oh boy.
Needs to get paid. That's not much room for other guys. Right?
You get all the 100.
Yeah. I was a little selfish with my salary this year.
I honestly do have a quick story, and I can probably finish it in 2 minutes.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'll try.
Go ahead.
So you guys know how I Uber drive sometimes.
How you drive?
Uber drive.
How you Uber drive? Yeah, Uber driver. Yeah.
So this is 2 months. No, maybe a month and a half ago. I pick up this girl from this place, Tony's. Well, this bar is a nightmare. Okay, and anyone who names a bar after themselves is just. So anyway, I pick this girl up, and she's yelling on the phone about this guy named Zach and about how there's all these issues going on. You know, I picked her up. I guess she'd had a fight with her boyfriend or whatever. And there was, and she was saying like, yeah, we stick together, all this stuff, but I'm not messing with him anymore, all this. Halfway through the drive, I noticed this truck following me from behind, tailgating
Shut
me
up, bro.
with the brights on.
You're joking me.
Not kidding. So about 5 minutes later, as I drop her off at her house, the truck follows us all the way there. I look at myself, I'm like, and she's on the phone. So I didn't even speak to her. I said like, hey, how's it going? That's it. And she's maybe mid-20s or whatever. And I was like having a rough night, I guess. And she was. And so I drop her off, and I noticed the truck goes like 10 feet by the driveway. And when she goes in the house, I back up. And so the truck is reversed, like in reverse with the reverse lights on. And as I back up out of the driveway, I'm diagonal. I put it in drive. He floors it in reverse and hits me.
No.
I swear to God, on my life, on my grave. He hits me, stops me dead in my tracks.
Shut up.
Stops me dead in my tracks. And I'm sitting there. I'm like, what just happened? I had no clue what to do. His muffler went through my, like, scraped everything, went through my, through like the headlight, everything done. It could have been worse, but this is the best part about it. Okay. He gets out. So what happened was he thought that I was like another guy. He didn't realize I was an Uber driver. He thought I picked her up and like we were going back to her house, and this guy drilled me.
You've got to be kidding.
So I get out. He stumbles out. He's hammered.
No.
And he looks at it all calm. He goes, well, he said another word, but he goes, stuff happens. I pause. I go, you made stuff happen. What is this? And he goes, you turned in the middle of the road. I was like, no. That's not at all what happened. And so anyway, yeah, I called, like, the police came and stuff, and they got everything.
Did call the cops?
Yeah, and they did the whole.
Okay, good.
He was hammered.
Dude,
did he get arrested?
Dude, I couldn't believe it. No.
Did he get a Dewey?
What?
No.
No Dewey.
No. But dude, I couldn't believe it. I was so shocked. Like when he hit me and reversed into me, I was like, I literally, my mouth like hit my steering wheel.
What did the girl do?
The girl was inside. She didn't see any of it.
Oh, she didn't see any of it.
Probably.
She was sleeping, Brock.
Dude, it was insane.
Sorry.
It was insane. I couldn't believe it.
So
dude, that's crazy. You got some crazy stories as an Uber driver.
Oh, it's insane, dude.
Dude,
what a profession.
I bet you Uber drivers have to have some of the best stories ever. Like that's just like it makes sense.
It's nuts. It's insane.
Yeah.
Oh,
if I did it more, I would probably have even more stories, dude. But yeah, anyway.
Well, I think that's.
Oh wait.
Yeah, go ahead, Rock.
I got something. It's a little off the cuff of what we normally do, though.
Yeah, well, you can step forward and not be 30 feet behind your mic if possible.
Sorry. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, it's gonna be a rant.
No, Brock. We don't have time for a rant.
Yeah, we do. I don't have the ticker up on my thing.
You can. Okay, fine. Go ahead. Say what you want to say.
Sewer you by saying you can't afford premium. Zoom premium. No ticker, no time limit.
Now accepting donations.
Yeah. Quick plug. No. Okay. I gotta talk briefly about the current state of the ACHA. And I got to call out, not that this will get to them, but for any opposing players, I just got to send my heart just goes out to these seniors and these fifth-year guys whose cowardly school officials decided to cancel their seasons already. Canceled their whole first semester and already decided to cancel second semester. These absolute cowards. I hope that one of these schools, and I'm referring to Syracuse, NYU, Delaware, Rhode Island, a bunch more. But I cannot believe that there are some schools that have the nerve to allow some athletic programs to go on and then cancel others and claim that it has something to do with COVID. That is as cowardly as it gets.
Mm-hmm.
That's just pathetic. And I hope a lawsuit comes towards these universities, because Liberty University played Syracuse football this semester. And the amount of things that they had to go through in order to play that game cost 5 seasons of what it would cost to run a Syracuse hockey program.
Mm-hmm.
And they canceled their whole entire season. Didn't even let them practice. They can't even practice.
Yeah.
My heart just goes out to these guys. I'm sitting in the locker room and I'm frustrated because we have 2 games on our schedule and we're practicing 5 days a week. And you can't get frustrated because there's guys that literally got forced into retirement and all they wanted to do was play college hockey. All they wanted to do was play college hockey. They wanted to chase a scholarship. They couldn't get it. There's a league for it. The ACHA, it's a great league. It's up and coming. There's some great players in it, great teams. And then you've got programs like this that just treat them like dirt. It's pathetic.
Such a joke.
I have to call them out because I know that there's teams that have chirped us about our podcast before. So I know some other players have listened to it, but I mean, I got to tell them I don't know what to say. I feel so bad for them.
Dude, love the rant. Great. It is a great rant. It really is. I mean, it's good to have it's good. What do you do if you're one of those guys on another team? Like, do you have any control over the situation? Like, you can sign all the petitions and do whatever you want, but can you actually change anything?
Probably not.
So
probably not.
So at the end of the day, I mean, yeah.
It just comes down to money making for these schools, and that's the funniest part about this whole pandemic when it comes to this type of stuff is schools will say we're shutting down, right? But it's not because of health. It's because of they're shutting down hockey because they claim it's health related. They can't keep hockey going, but they're playing football because they need to keep the TV sponsorships. They need to keep ticket sales. It's just it's embarrassing.
Yeah, it doesn't make much sense.
Put the same effort into every sport.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, Brock. I'm with you. And as different D1 programs around the country get going again, and some get shut down, it's a frustrating time, man. It really is, and especially when there are definitely ways that you can be safe and healthy around it.
Or what about Canada? Isn't U Sports completely shut down?
Yeah, so actually,
entire league.
For the most part, yeah, U Sports is completely shut down. Now, the only thing that will be going is Mount Royal, University of Alberta, University of BC. They're going to be each of those teams are actually playing against the Team Canada World Junior team in a 2-game exhibition series, which is going to be nationally broadcast on TSN. Actually, coming up next week, we had an interview with Riley Lindgren, who I'm really excited to release that interview. He plays for Mount Royal, and they're gearing up to play against the Team Canada World Junior team right now on the national stage. Going to be super cool.
Is that good?
It was. Yeah, isn't that good? I mean, you tell me, Brock. You're the hockey guy, right? So, yeah. I mean, going to be able to get the inside scoop about exactly that, how these athletes are feeling next week on episode 51. Hey, Brock, thanks a lot, man. Good rant.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
Just prayers go out that this country, can figure it out.
Yeah, for sure.
But and then on a more serious note, I know guys know about this, but just want to give a shout out to Brett Berthume. He's an awesome guy, awesome kid. He's been a Liberty University hockey team manager for the past 5 seasons. absolute servant. Every hockey player that listens knows that we all hold a special place in our hearts for our team managers and the guys that work with our equipment. So everyone has a guy in mind, but ours is Brett. He means the world to us, and he's going through a tough time right now. So just keep him in your prayers and your thoughts.
Yeah, Brett Berthume, absolutely, and a guy who thrives at what he does too, and sacrifices time and effort, daily will do anything for the boys. Such a beauty. Yeah, pray for him for strength, and just yeah, for sure.
And
Good
then also just pray for Devin and just his technical capabilities. He decided that he moved seats in the cyber lounge to plug in his laptop, and yet here we are, and his laptop died.
Yeah. Yeah, he I think more than anything, Brock, this guy's got issues. He's got some major technical issues. I mean, tonight I couldn't tell if his mic was a blowhorn or if it was an Amazon mic like he claims. But we got to keep him in our prayers absolutely as well. Good stuff, man. Well, hey, right. Good stuff. Hey, well, guys, thanks so much for tuning back in. Episode 50 of the Bo Show is in the books. That's 50 episodes down. Man, we can't wait for the next 50 as we continue our journey next week with episode 51. Hey, if you're a new listener or if you're a returning listener, know that we are live and we are active on our Instagram. You can follow us on there at the Bo Show, baby. You can also check us out on our website. Huge platform. We also do a lot of YouTube content, a lot of interviews with professional athletes. You can check us out on our website, www.thebowshow.ca. Hey, listen, check out our other podcasts. Man, we've had some big episodes. We've had some big guests. Big one today. It was just a ton of fun. So good to be back. So good to be talking to you guys again. And we will see you next week for episode 51. On behalf of the boys, my name is Bo. We love you guys.